Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the football betting series here on YouTube. Euro 24 edition. After a strong matchday one, matchday two wasn't quite as good. That means our Euros record stands at 5 wins, 2 losses with 1 push, for a total profit of £55.50. Adding that all to our overall records, we're standing on 91 wins, 34 losses, and 12 pushes, and a total season profit of £509.50. One quick disclaimer before we get into the predictions for this round of fixtures, and that's a reminder that not everyone needs to win their games today. As such, some people may be rotating, experimenting with tactics, or simply resting players with injuries or potential suspensions. Stages like this in the tournament are about picking your moments, and if you think I'm talking some sense in today's video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Without further ado, let's get into it. Our first selection sees Albania play Spain, and Albania are fast becoming one of the neutrals' favourites in this tournament. After putting a really positive display together against Italy in the opener, they took the lead in Game 2 against Croatia also. The score was then turned around with the second half flurry as Croatia scored twice in 2 minutes, but Albania did not lose their discipline. They stuck to their game plan, and when a chance presented itself, they took full advantage deep into stoppage time to rescue a point and keeping them in the tournament. Form-wise, despite being winless in their last 4 competitive matches, Albania will look to implement the same plan against Spain in this match, frustrating them and then looking for those opportunities on the counter. Speaking of Spain, they won their last game by 1-0 against Italy thanks to a Calafiori own goal in the 55th minute. This may lead anyone that didn't actually watch the game to think that Spain were a bit fortunate to take all 3 points here, but when we look into the numbers, we can see that it was in fact Italy who got off lightly. Spain could have easily been up by 1, 2 or 3 goals very early on, and the Spanish dominated the ball, taking 5 times the amount of shots and creating an XG of 2.02 compared to Italy's rather dismal 0.16. This result does mean that Spain became the second side to secure qualification into the knockout round after the host Germany, and they've also extended their winning run to 10 in a row now. When we look at the head-to-head record, these sides have faced off 3 times since 2016, with Spain winning all 3 games with relative ease. When we look at my prediction, I'm going to go for Spain in this one. They don't need the win, as they have already qualified, but Albania do need something from the game to either push for a second or third place finish. I think the Albanians bringing a certain performance level into the game will push Spain to also achieve as well. I'm also expecting a slightly rotated side from Spain, as again they have secured qualification, but some of these squad players are more than good enough to beat an Albanian side at full strength, as they're going to want to break into the starting lineup for the latter stages of the tournament. Spain to win for a full stake in bet number 1. Our second selection sees England play Slovenia, and England were held to a draw in their previous fixture against Denmark. As with Game 1, England turned in quite a poor performance relative to the strength of the squad and the expectations of the neutrals. Pressure is piling up on Southgate, and England really need to get playing before they face the big boys in the knockout stages, or risk an early exit from the Euros. Despite how poor things have been from an England perspective, it's worth mentioning they are unbeaten in the tournament so far and have secured qualification into the next round. Additionally, the Three Lions are also unbeaten in their last 10 competitive fixtures. They play a Slovenia side who made the breakthrough against Serbia in Game 2, only to concede a 95th minute equaliser, courtesy of Luka Jovic. This means the Slovenians have posted back-to-back 1-1 draws, and their stubborn play has seen them extend their unbeaten streak to 8 international matches in a row. When we look at the head-to-head record, England and Slovenia have not played since 2017, with the Three Lions winning 1-0 in the World Cup qualifiers. England are also unbeaten in all 6 encounters against Slovenia between 2009 and 2017, by a total aggregate of 10-4. For my prediction in this one, England don't need the win, but Slovenia do need to get something from the game. As with the previous selection, I think this will push England's performance levels up. If England don't bring the intensity to the game themselves, there's a chance we could see slight rotation. Cole Palmer and Anthony Gordon in particular have something to prove and try and break into the England starting 11 for the knockout stages. That's why I'm going to go for an England win for a full stake in bet number 2. Our third selection also takes place in Group C, as Denmark plays Serbia. Denmark played their hearts out against one of the tournament favourites in England in Matchday 2. They managed to match England's XG of 0.87 with their own XG of 0.82. They also outshot the Three Lions by 16 efforts to 12 and forced 6 saves from Jordan Pickford in their 1-1 draw. This recent draw means that the Danes have now posted back-to-back 1-1 draws for the tournament, but they are unbeaten in the last 6 international matches. They play a Serbia side who also drew their previous game 1-1 against Slovenia, and in truth, they rescued their tournament late on. Back-to-back losses would have put the Serbs on the cusp of elimination, but Jovic's 95th minute equaliser has given them a glimmer of hope coming into the final match day of the group. Looking at the current third place sides, I'm not sure 2 points will be enough to guarantee qualification into the knockout rounds. As such, Serbia are going to have to go all out for the win against Denmark here today. However, this win may be more tricky to come by than they would have hoped for. Serbia have won just 2 of the last 8 international games coming into the tournament. They were against Cyprus and Sweden, which failed to qualify for Euro 24. When we look at the head-to-head records, these sides have squared off 3 times since 2014. Denmark won all 3 of those matches by a margin of 8-1. My prediction is it's very hard to call a winner here. Both sides have shown a fighting spirit and an ability to score goals in the tournament. However, their defence is somewhat lacking, and that's why I'm looking at the both teams to score market. Denmark have scored and conceded in each of their last 4 games, and in qualification, both teams to score came in 6 of their 10 qualifiers, including 3 of the 4 games towards the end of the stage before the Euros started. Serbia themselves have scored in 4 of the last 5 matches, and were truly unfortunate not to score against England to make it 5 in a row. During the Serbian qualifying campaign, both teams to score came in 75% of group games, including each of the most recent 6 qualifiers. For those reasons, I'm going to be taking both teams to score in matchday 3. However, given the high pressure of the situation and the natural temptation for sides to sit back and defend a lead once they've gained it, I'm only going to be backing this one for a half stake in bet number 3. Our fourth and final selection sees Ukraine play Belgium. And following a really uncharacteristic performance in their opening 3-0 loss to Romania, Ukraine bounced back on matchday 2 to pick up a 2-1 win against Slovakia. Ukraine fell behind in what was a very even first half, but they turned the tables after the interval, taking charge of the game in the second 45. In doing so, they generated 3 times the XG compared to Slovakia, creating 3 big chances to 0, but perhaps more importantly, brought an intensity to the game which was lacking both in the first half of that match and in the first game against Romania. This does mean that Ukraine are now unbeaten in 5 of their last 6 competitive games and may have found their mojo again. They play a Belgian side who disappointed in the opening match against Slovakia, losing by 1-0. They have turned their tournament fortunes around in Game 2 against Romania, and that means that all sides in Group E are locked on 3 points coming into the final day. It's wide open, and any one of the 4 can qualify first, second, or even third place. Form-wise, Belgium have stuttered. They were unbeaten in their last 15 games coming into the tournament before their opening day loss. They've shown that they have the quality of players, and they're able to play under pressure, which is most certainly going to be the case in the final group game. With no head-to-head record to think about, we're just going to have to take the 2 sides on the merits I've already discussed, and I'm going to be backing Belgium for a full stake to win the game and to win the group in the final bet of the episode. So there we have it, 4 selections in today's episode, starting off with Albania versus Spain. We're going to be backing the Spanish at odds of 1.47, a £30 stake to return 14.10. Next up, England plays Slovakia, and we're going to be backing England at odds of about 1.4, £30 stake to return 12.30. Whilst in the same group and on the same day, at the same time, Denmark will play Serbia. We're looking at both teams to score. We're backing this selection for odds of 1.69, a £15 half stake to return 10.35. And our final bet of the episode, Ukraine versus Belgium. We're going to be backing Belgium at odds of 3/4, a £30 stake to return 22.20. So across our 4 selections, we're going to be risking £105 to hopefully pick up as much as £58.95. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into the next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.